And we're going to be talking about the editing and opening and viewing in Excel functionality that Business Central has. So Ken, what is the difference between, let's say, open in Excel versus edit in Excel?
Right. Well, the edit in Excel is the expectation that you're going to be, it's launching it in a mode where it expects that you're going to be modifying potentially that data and writing that data back into Business Central from within Excel.
And so the open in Excel, you can just look at it.
Correct.
And save a file to your own
correct.
Computer,
And the reason there are different options for that is because you may have users with different permissions. Mm-hmm. So you may allow user A to go in and he can push his data from Business Central into Excel so that he can look at it in there. Other users maybe though have the permission to edit in Excel.
So what would you say is one of the advantages to being able to edit in Excel as opposed to just editing in Business Central?
Right.
Is it the ability to edit more data quickly?
Correct, exactly. So the example that I demonstrated in the video that we have to be included, I assume, with our podcast notes.
Be in the show notes and everything. Yep.
Is where I have a list of customers. So my list is pretty short, but someone may have 1,000 customers or 500 customers that need to get updated. And in my example, I'm updating the credit limit for all the customers. So Excel, if I were to update the credit limit manually for 500 customers in Business Central, that might take me 4 hours, right?
Wow.
Or longer. However, what I can do is from that customer list page, I can hit edit in Excel. It pushes the data into Excel. I now use Excel's features, right? I type in a credit limit on the top row and I double click on it and it auto-fills all my records. And then I hit a publish button, and what that does is that pushes my updates back into Business Central.
Now, will it push all of the updates back into Business Central even if it recognizes an incorrect table cell?
So does it validate the data?
Correct.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I touch on this in the video also. So in this case, if let's say I added a letter into the credit limit dollars field, it would tell me I have an invalid character. It would skip that record, but it would insert all of the other records that were valid. Okay. And it would tell me that record is invalid. And again, I walk through that example in the video. So, and that is great that it does validate the data, and it's running all of those Business Central validations to make sure that, one, that you not only have the right format of data, but two, that you're picking a valid value as if you had edited that value right within Business Central. So for example, if I try to pick something that's blocked, it would not let me, right? Because that's a standard validation of Business Central. So it's any validations that exist get called from that Excel.
All right, now let's say you've got a large company and they have millions upon millions of records and they push it to edit in Excel. Is there a way to narrow down the fields shown in edit in Excel?
No, it will send over a standard list of fields. I believe it's all of the fields that are defined in that page, whether or not they're visible by default, are sent over. So I think that is something that you can change through an extension. Nice try to stump me there.
Yeah, that was the stump question.
That was the stump question. Yeah. So it will. So what you'll see is that you may only be viewing like 8 fields on your customer list.
Right.
But then when you click on Edit in Excel and it pushes it into Excel, you see like 15 or 20 fields. Mm-hmm. And again, I believe that's because those are the fields that are available by default on that page, whether or not they're visible.
Right.
You could add more in there through an extension, though.
Yeah. So I actually heard that maybe in the future there might be a way to, when you do the edit in Excel, where you can only view a certain amount.
Right.
Because now with open in Excel, whatever you have filtered in Business Central, that's what shows on the open in Excel
Okay.
spreadsheet.
Whereas the edit shows more
everything.
fields.
Yeah.
There you go. I do this because I learned from you.
Yeah. I tried.
Yep. Now we should note here, just as we wrap up this topic, that one, you can do this from any list page by default, and two, you do need Office 365 to use this feature.
Definitely
So I don't know the exact version of Office 365. We always recommend that our customers who are using Business Central use Office 365 Business Premium.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be to provide the users with all of the features that they'll need within Business Central. So you should note that if you're not using Office 365,
it's not going to work
for Excel. You're not going to. What will happen is you won't, when you push your data into Excel, you won't see the Office 365 Assistant pop up on the right side of your Excel screen, and you need that because that's where you have your publish button. So it authenticates your user ID through your Office 365
So it's basically creating a link so you can push it back into.
Yeah, it's using your Office 365 authentication, and it's using that integration as the link to send that data back into Business Central.
Really?